All right, boys, this ain't post race fights. This ain't post race pizzas. This is episode 17 of the Bluegrass Race Hub. This week, I'm joined by my Teamplex teammate, the loudest man you've ever heard, a stupid Steelers fan, but I'm going to give him a pass because I like the guy, Dan Worthington, the only guy that's running triple digits, and the HMFIC, Jason Collins. Let's get to it. So we are filming this on Super Bowl Sunday, which means we're a little more behind than usual. We still haven't talked about Xfinity and Cup from Fairgrounds, so we're going to jump on that stuff real quick. Going to throw it to Jason to run down the Xfinity results, and we're going to try to remember what we can. Forgive us, Father, for we have sinned. We have drank since then.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, your HMFIC. Once again, we are looking back a couple weeks back. Little off. It's episode 17, like you said. So 16 was a couple weeks ago. So I just wanted to say we're sorry about that. So going back to the Nashville Xfinity race, looks like if my mind serves me correctly, my memory, I should say, Keith Hackney was the one to beat that night. He led 136 laps. He was on a tear all night long. Just top class of the field for the night. Unfortunately, he ended up getting rear-ended by Jim Ott. In the latter stages of the race, Jim came in, gave him a little love tap, got him sideways. He got ran over, had lost the nose of his car, stuff like that. James Silvers ended up edging out Radburn Shutters and Alex Penn, who are his teammates, is a 1-2-3 for Cornerstone Motorsports. Justin Winters went with P4. Hackney was P5. Jim Ott was P6. Bobby Mays P7. Sean Kostritza was P8. Dylan Merriam P9. And Lancaster rounding out your top 10. Man, what I do remember about Fairgrounds, we had 16 cautions. So I remember it wasn't
83 laps under yellow.
It wasn't too good. I mean, just saying, like, we've had
Fairgrounds was a tough week for everybody.
I don't know what the deal is with the guys and like this season. There's been more cautions than we've ever had in any of our seasons. So I don't know what the deal is there. Let me we'll just go ahead before we get into that. We'll shift gears and go ahead take a look at the Cup Series results from Nashville,
yes,
Alex.
Yep, let me get them bad boys pulled up because I was just looking at Xfinity with you like an idiot because I wasn't doing what I said I was going to do. But let's see, and it went right back to Xfinity. Excellent.
So RS Center was the winner that night, which it's RS's fourth or fifth race with us. He's missed like 5 races, so unfortunately he doesn't get his automatic bid for winning. But go ahead.
Yep. So now we're up to speed. Which yes, RS in the double deuce brought her home. John Schwartz in the 95 second. Huffy brought her home in third. Brandon Holder had a solid run in ninth. Mikey Neal, who fourth. Yep. Sorry. If you guys don't know, I've been out of commission for a few days, and this is the first time I've talked to people that aren't in my house in like a week. So, Mikey Neal fifth, which I do remember. I had the pleasure of him blowing by me a few times. He was super fast all night. GT Hawkins in sixth, Nick Mills seventh, Sean Kostritza in eighth. Your boy P9 doing better in Cup than in trucks, which is unfortunate. And our good buddy Blake Hensley from a couple episodes ago getting her done in P10. This was another wild one. 20 cautions, 101 caution laps out of 203 total laps. So we had a green-white checker. So basically half of the race was under yellow. Everybody had pretty fair amount of incident points. Even myself, I had 16 and I didn't really get in to people. People got into me, which I know a lot of people probably feel that way. And then when you scroll down and you look through the field, and I got in trouble for this earlier in the season. So the people that I'm about to say that had high incident counts, I'm not saying you're a shitty driver. I'm not talking shit about you. And if someone says I'm talking shit about you, I'm not. And you know who I'm talking about. But John Kinder ended up with 32 incidents. Roger Pierce had 24. Brian Terry had 30. I mean, we had several people with over 20, several people. I mean, tons of people that went over the limit to start with. So it was a mess from beginning to end. I spent a lot of time just cruising under caution, saving fuel, and just taking my time.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. There was a lot of cautions, you know, and I think that's it's kind of a good segue into talking about North Wilkesboro, but I think I need to wait, don't we?
Yeah, we'll cover Kansas
wait
first.
Well, yeah. So, all right. Let's go ahead and kick it over to Dan. Let Dan talk about some truck series at Kansas. You got those results pulled up, big dog, or do you need a couple minutes or seconds to get that pulled up?
We got her.
Go ahead.
Looks like there was 3 cautions.
Solid race.
Yeah, wasn't bad at all. Colbert is the winner. It looks like Lucas came in second. The 113, Dan Worthington. This guy came in third. Sean came in fourth. Gary, another strong top 5 for him. I see he came in fifth.
Your buddy.
Yeah. We kind of went on. We're kind of in the past of that. He came out and said he did dirty, so I appreciate him doing that. Yep.
That's all it takes sometimes.
And then Roger, he came in sixth. Wes, another flex, he came in seventh. And then we got
Buddy.
What is that? Buddy, and then Drew, and then Shane, top 10.
Nice,
Sean.
Yeah.
So, what do you remember about that race particularly, Dan?
It was actually, we were all going on, I think I was going with Bobby there on a pit strategy. I think we stayed out for a few more laps, and man, I was praying for a caution, but we never got it. And he ended up, I think he was in the catbird seat, but I think he messed up on some pit strategy or something. Something happened. He clicked the wrong button, but
yeah, I think he took tires when he didn't want to, or vice versa, something like that.
Yeah, that's what happened. And,
I do remember what that caution that Holt brought out. I think he was on freshies and he was coming like a bat out of hell at the end, and then he ended up making contact on the white flag with Tyler Evans. Came up off the bottom and got up into him, and he ended up getting wrecked with Ed and some other guys.
Yes, that's what happened. I remember now. Yeah, I mean, I think if I had another like 2 laps, I could have been right there towards the end, but just ran out of laps.
I know you were pretty confident on the radio, and I was well out of it, so I was really just a front row spectator at that point. But it sounded like you guys were coming fast, and it was just like a lot of these deals go. You just need a caution at the right time, and didn't get it, unfortunately. But two flex guys in the top 10. I think that might have been your best run of the season so far, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I missed that run race there at the beginning.
Yeah,
I went down to Bitchland / Texas to hang out with them, and I missed that race, so that put me, back in points. So that we're just chugging along here. I definitely needed a good finish like that.
See, that's a good example. All right, you don't have to come in here and run P1 every week or win the damn race every week to have a shot, because you missed a race. You were marred up in points way back in points, and you managed to work your way back up to, what are you currently in points? 13. I mean, you're only like 108 behind the leader. So you're inside the playoff window as of right now. You have good finishes week in and week out. And that's all it takes, man. So if let's just think about this. If just like Wes hasn't won shit. Wes
Right.
has 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s, and the dude's sitting P2 in points right now. Fucking, I use their F bomb. He's
That's
killing
it.
it.
It's the one. I can't believe it's 2 weeks in a row you took it from me, and with Dan on here, you took it. That's unbelievable.
I know, right? but Wes has he proves my point. He's a prime example. You don't have to come in here and try to go out, set the fastest qualifying time, and lead the whole race, and lead every lap, and win the race, and just have good finishes.
Yeah, good finishes. I'm serious. I mean, like after Atlanta, I was sitting P27 in points. Then we went to dirt. I jumped up to was 18th. Just every week. Coda, where am I at in Coda? I was 12th, and then I think I had some wrecks or something, and I fell back. But yeah, I mean, you just got to have good finishes.
Got to grind it out.
And most of the time, you just got to finish the race. Like these guys, they're driving over their heads so much and beyond their skill limits so much that and I'm gonna go ahead and call him out right now. Tyler Evans has 138 freaking incident points. All right, Bobby is right behind him with 110.
That kind of surprised me.
I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't surprise me. I've watched Bobby race for 3 or 4 seasons now. Yeah. Bobby's very aggressive.
So, and this is my first season with Flex. Prior to racing with Flex, when I was around Bobby on the track, I knew, and not that he's dirty, he's just aggressive.
He's not dirty, he's just aggressive.
Yeah, he's 100% aggressive, even with teammates.
Yes.
I'll even agree to that.
Yeah, he got me once this season, or me and Alan at the same time. But that is the way he races, and he is fast partly because of that. So you can't tell him to just go out there and race like Mark Martin. No, he's Ross Chastain, and that's fine. But that's how you end up with
to a
100
degree.
incidents.
I mean,
yeah,
to a
that's
degree,
how you end up with 100 incidents.
I'm not going to say it's fine because he still is over 100 incidents across 9 races. So you're averaging over 10 incidents per race right now, more than 10, right?
A little over 11.
I mean, I think last season I was leading this incident. And it was all because it was just bad timing. I mean,
well, Tyler is at 134, and he claims that none of them are his fault or whatever. Or most of them aren't his fault.
Like 2 were, yeah.
He averages 14.88888889. So 15 incidents per race, basically. Man, I'm sorry, I like you and shit. I love you. You're a good dude, but shit's got to change, dude. Like you can't keep this up, man. I'm just telling you.
If you do that in officials, you'll be stuck racing ARCA because you're going to get demoted. You'll be demoted in a week.
Dude, you probably end up getting back to put back to rookie at that rate. I
don't know if that's possible, but if it is, that's the way to get there.
I'm just saying, if it was possible, because it's whether you think they're your fault or not. All right, you're putting yourself in those situations. That's the ultimate. That's the point. The racecraft. There is a racecraft, whether it's a video game or simulator, whatever you'll call it. There's racecraft.
Yeah, Dave Farmer, fucking video game.
When you race when you race like we do in such tight close quarters racing, you have to have complete control of your car. You have to know where the nose is, each fender, the bumper. You should have enough time and there's AI for practice and shit and figuring it out. You can go in and you should be like, we used to go in with Kinder, for instance, back when we were all still learning. He would give us tips on trail braking, how to bump and run efficiently without wrecking guys. And we would go into these practice sessions and we would sit there and we would do it over and over and over until we learned where the fenders and bumper, of course we're on monitors, but we could still gauge the distance and gauge the depth. And we would go in and we would bump and we would wreck him. We'd go back, we'd reset, we'd bump, we'd wreck him. And we did it until we were able to finally, bump him, move him, and him not wreck. And a lot of it is just the fact that he's a skilled driver. And a lot of times you try a bump and run on a guy that doesn't have control of his truck, and he will wreck, even though it's a slight tap, right? We've all seen it before.
You got to know how to take the bump too. If
that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm alluding to, is you got to know how to take the bump. All right, you see a guy, the bump and run's coming. Don't crank the wheel hard left and just
stop turning left. Really?
Yeah, you have to straighten the wheel out.
You're going to have to drive up the track. You're going to get past. You can't stop him from doing it. There's either you can let the pass happen or you can let your race be over. Whatever you want.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like there's no give. Like nobody. Like I and on the other side of the coin, dive bombs are out of control. Dive bombing and just like driving it in so freaking deep on people that you're washing up into the second lane. Like it's out of control in all three series.
I'm gonna call out a buddy of mine on this. We've come to it twice. We made it through last week, but my good friend Roger Pierce has put me 3 wide 3 weeks in a row. 2 of them ended poorly for both of us. The last one we survived, and he's an aggressive driver. He sees the hole, he's going to take it. I understand, and I think him and I have a good enough awareness of each other. A lot of times we can get through that, but when you add a third element to it, it's a variable where anything can happen, and there are times to do it and times to not do it, and it scares the shit out of me every time because I'm never expecting it at the points when it happens. But they're doing I'm not talking about Roger at this point, but just everybody in general. There's a time and a place for a bump and run, for a 3 wide, for a dive bomb. These are all parts of racing, but they don't need to be parts of racing on lap 9 or lap 27 or out after the restart at the stage or something.
There's absolutely zero reason to race somebody to the point where you're potentially going to cause a wreck on any lap besides the final closing laps. So these guys that come out and they want to bump and run, or they want to put somebody in a precarious situation on lap 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, like whatever. Dude, ride around. I'm not saying like in the back, but ride around, know what's going on. I don't know if some of these guys are drinking, they're high, what the deal is.
I know some guys are drinking.
But
I guarantee some
guys are high. This isn't a beer league. That's the thing. This isn't a beer league. Like I had to say this once before you guys were around. We had a guy and he said, "Oh, this is a beer league to me. I don't take this shit serious." Well, then go somewhere else. If you don't take it serious, and it's a beer league to you, go somewhere else. I don't want people that have that mentality.
I'll start up Bluegrass iRacing for those suckers.
This is a competitive, simulated racing league. All right,
man, that just gave me a great idea, Jason. We got to have a 4th series. It's the Bluegrass series.
Bluegrass coming soon. TM.
These incident points are bad.
But I don't remember. I know, like I said, Peyton won the race, right?
Yeah.
Or am I looking at? No, shit. Peyton didn't win the race.
We're looking at
Jonah Colbert won the race. I was looking at standings. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me go. Let's go over that real quick. The standings. So Peyton Hubbard's your points leader right now, 421 over West, who has 383. Bobby Hall is 380. Sean Chris is 370 in 4th. Jonah Colbert is in 5th with 366. Lucas Lyons is 362 in 6th. Healy is 350 in 7th. So you're not doing too bad. You act like you're doing terrible in trucks. You're not doing bad at all. 7th in points. I know you're used to probably being in that top 4, but
Yeah, well, I was first earlier season. I got 12 penalty points, and just the past couple weeks, I've just had a couple. I won't say bad, but I've had some unfortunate things happen. I had at Kansas entering the pits. I ran right into the back of Dustin. I was really on it for pit entry, and he's pretty conservative going into the pits, and I fucking ran right into him, so I was dead after that. But like Dan said, we got a long way to go. You got to grind them out, and that's how you move on to the playoffs and move on through the rounds. So we'll do it.
Anything else you can think of, Dan, from the truck race that you want to add in there, or any comments or anything? Because I mean, you were one of those guys. Let's just touch base on this for a second. You were one of those guys in season 2, I think, of the truck series, or maybe season 1. I had to pull you aside and say, "Hey, look, you're driving way over your head. I don't know if you don't have your monitor set up properly," or I said, "I'm going to have to park you or something."
Yeah, I think it was like Dover. You brought me in because I think I qualified like P2 or something, and
you dumped it.
I dumped that shit like first 2 laps or something.
And I was just like, all right, you've got pace, but you're driving over your head just a little bit when you get up there with those guys that are just a notch above or something, right? And you're making like mistakes, like for instance, driving on cold tires, looping it at Dover, right? So I brought you in and I was like, "Hey, so what can we do here? What can we do to fix this?" And you said, "Well, I just got triples, and I want, I helped you set those up, I think, or do something with them. I can't. We did something with the monitors, right?" And you went to practice and just paying more attention, and you went from having what I would say a reputation as a weapon to one of my best drivers in the league, like across all 3 series, as far as racecraft and skill and just like overall driving ability. You're up there, man. Like you're in the top echelon of guys. Like you're the epitome of the type of driver that we want. You're fast, you're competitive, you don't take no shit, but you also don't go out here and wreck people every single week. At least I don't think you do. From my
if
perspective.
I do, I man up and I apologize.
That's the biggest thing.
Or you'll say, "Fuck you, I meant to do it."
Right. I mean, I'm not the type that's gonna come crying to you and be like, "Oh my god, he hit my fender. We need to turn him in."
Well, I'm going to say something real quick. You guys used to be
right.
So you all used to call. I used to every week. I would hear from what was it? Dirt Track DTJ. Yep. Dirt Track Junkies.
That was our first team, and then we had Abby.
Can you come to my channel? Can you come to my channel?
And we changed her up. But yeah.
And it went from, I was like, God, every time, man. I was like, these guys, like, and it was dreaded to hear. Can you come to my channel, admin? Jason, can you come down here? You come to DTJ.
We got a couple of those right now.
Yeah, we do. But
there's one here every week.
They adopted, man. Like they understood, like, okay, it's not going to change anything. Like just because somebody gets into me a little bit here or there or whatever, or he's driving this way, you're driving that way, he can't do anything. He's just race control. All you can do is go talk to the person. And most time it does you no good to talk to them. It does absolutely zero. I can go say whatever I want to them, blue in the face, and it's not going to change a damn thing.
If someone called you down to their channel about me during a race, and then you came to me and said, "Hey, so-and-so said this, you need to chill out." The next time that dude gets around me, he's going for a fucking ride. I'll make sure he has something to protest after that. That's how that works.
That's typically, so you couldn't go say who, like obviously if I went down, I'm smart enough to know not to go say so-and-so said this, but if I went down and said, "Hey man, you need to kind of chill out, and I've been watching you drive a little aggressive," something like that. It's still not going to change the way the guy drives. Bobby, for instance, I went to talk to Bobby and said, Bobby, you got to chill out, man. He's not going to stop doing what he does because that's the way he drives.
Right.
Yep.
And so it does no good to cry and whine and bitch about this or that to race control. If they do something wrong, they will get penalized for it. Until then, you don't need to call me and tell me to watch this guy or watch that guy. It's old, man. Like, it's beyond old. Like, you guys have got to handle this on your own and police this on your own. Now, on the other hand, on the flip side, I'm telling you right now, from here on out, if you mess up, you're going to be made an example of. Like, the hammer's coming, boys. I'm telling you. Like, I don't think that people understand. Like, the racing has got to clean up. It's got to get better. And yeah, it's to the point where if you mess up, you're going to be made an example of. So,
all right, moving on to Xfinity from Kansas. We had a pretty good race, we feel, in the truck series. 3 cautions. This was our low light of the week. Had 10 cautions, 38 caution laps. Lots of yipping and yapping and guys upset and all that. Ultimately, Todd Mace. I know I say it every time. No one's really definitively said whether it's Mays or Mace. He pulls out the win, led 11 laps. But kind of the
hell
story
of a
for
job.
me. The story for me, the outside looking in, Twitty and Bridges, high side boys, they pulled out what looked to be just a insane fuel strategy that I think they both coasted across the line with no fuel. I think Jason may have run out of fuel at the beginning of the final lap, and I think he crossed the line at like 40 miles an hour or something, and I know that sparked some controversy with some other guys. But outside of, we'll get back to that. Outside of that, Jim Ott finished 4th, Radburn Shutters in 5th, Brad Gebhart in 6th, Adam Lancaster in 7th, my boy Mikey Neal in 8th, Jordan Slater P9, Alex Penn, our resident photography expert, bringing it home in P10. And just because I happened to look down, my number one favorite guy, Michael Robinson, got her in P13. I'm going to keep saying it until he acknowledges me that he has a fan out there.
Dude, I'm completely and totally just, I can't believe that Xfinity had 10 cautions. It's at a mile and a half, dude. Like, come on, that's terrible.
You have to kind of go out of your way to screw up that bad at a mile and a half, especially like Kansas is not a super difficult track to get around.
No, it's absolutely shameful that we had that many incident points on a mile and a half. I'm just going ahead and saying it. It's
almost like a wide open, like trucks. I mean, I never raced, I don't think, other than trucks there. It kind of like wide open, like qualifying and practice by yourself. Is that kind of just like the same, or totally different? Like with the trucks, you can go full hot,
for about 10, 12 laps.
Yeah, full. I mean, you don't even have to lift, but obviously you got the draft and everything, but.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. That's shameful, in my opinion. But
I mean, yeah, 38 laps caution, so
it's not a great look at a mile and a half. If it was Fairgrounds or Wilkesboro or something, I'd feel pretty good about that. But this ain't that.
Oh, it's just. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it because I wasn't there, but I watched the replay, and the replay was terrible. It was like, people are wanting to quit right now because they feel like the racing sucks. Like,
here's what I'll say to that, and the racers, they want to attribute that to, probably to you because you run the league. Here's what it is. If you don't like the racing, be better. You're the one fucking racing. You be better. So that's 3 F words, but if you don't like the racing, make it better. Either
100%.
either with your individual on track personality, whatever that is, whether it's talking to your teammates, talking to guys that you're friends with, talking to guys that you're enemies with. If you got to bury the hatchet with someone, if every week you've got a guy that is making life difficult on you, maybe it's time to figure out if there's a vendetta or if that's how he races, and if it is, how do we solve this? Because nobody can make anybody race good or bad. Like everybody has to want to be good, and everyone's definition of good is different. But it's always communication. It's always what it comes down with, whether you want to jump in a voice channel with somebody or send a DM after the race, whatever it entails. As soon as you open the lines of communication with someone, it almost always gets, sometimes it gets worse, sure. But I would say 90% of the time, all of our issues can be resolved if we just simply talk to each other about it.
Well, one of the guys that's in particular that I'm referring to is Curtis Preston from the Cup Series. He is frustrated with the way that the league is. He says he understands. He's not blaming me. He says, I know you want, with this kind of fields and stuff, it's going to be difficult, but he says he was looking for that league that had that 3 to 5K I rating skill. And it's hard to get that many guys between 3 and 5K to race every single week. It's almost impossible because that's like the top 2% or something, or top 5% of iRacing. If you go look up the numbers, it's way up there.
And outside of that, and I'm defending myself for being in the Cup Series, I'm a 2100 iRating guy. I don't run officials a lot. I care about running the league. And
that's the biggest thing. There's a lot of guys that don't run officials, so their iRating doesn't reflect their actual skill set. But go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, it's a lot of people get really caught up, which it's easy if you run officials all the time. I get it. But if you're in a league, like I can't, like when we go to a road course and I'll see the guys' iRatings on race labs or whatever, and it's not indicative of their pace at all. And or at an oval or short track when we go to dirt, like I can't use that as a gauge for how fast or slow anybody in this league is. It's league racing. Like we have to have iRating because it's iRacing. It is a kind of fast and general rule, but once you've been in leagues for a while, like that shit kind of goes out the window. It doesn't reflect really anybody in the league, honestly.
No, it's it's a tool we use to gauge drivers and stuff, but it's not indicative of every single driver or even a small handful. Like some of these guys that have a lower iRating, they have just as much skill and pace as anybody else. But his point is that the racing, he's had a couple bad weeks now. He was the points leader in Cup, and so he's had a couple bad weeks. And the way I took it was like he's kind of just like, well, I'm going to take my toys and go somewhere else, like because he's had a couple bad weeks. Man,
we all have them. So, I mean,
I'm having one right now.
It's
and
just
guys in real life have it.
Yeah, I mean, people have those feelings, and they do that kind of stuff. They feel that way all the time. But at the end of the day, you're locked into the playoffs. You've got a good points lead or point standing, whatever. There's no reason to pack up and leave over a couple bad races. It happens in real life, like you said. It happens. Shit's unavoidable. It's going to freaking happen.
Yeah,
part of racing.
Like two years ago,
and keep racing.
2 years ago, Kyle Larson looked like the greatest NASCAR driver who had ever lived. He won 11 races and was dominant everywhere. And then last season he was good, but kind of just the guy. And do you think he was like, oh, fuck this, I'm gonna go run dirt? I'm not like, no, like rise up, man. Like accept the challenge.
Overcome it, exactly.
Get better. And
don't just say it's the racing, because the racing in Kansas was actually really good. You may have got wrecked out early and didn't get to experience it, but the racing at Kansas and the Cup Series was really good. Let's cover points in Xfinity real quick before I get us completely off topic. I wanted to forgot about that. So real quick, Twitty and Bridges did a hell of a job. P2 and
Good job,
P3.
fellas.
Todd Mays, I mean, way to go, dude. Way to go. Todd is an older gentleman. He comes out and he grabs a win and locks himself into the playoffs. Just don't miss any more races. I think you've missed 2 so far, so 2 more races is all you can miss without losing your automatic bid. So try not to miss more than 2 races. Standings though, points. James Silvers is leading all drivers in Xfinity with 421, followed by Jim Ott with 398. Radburn Shutters is at 383 in third. Lancaster's in fourth with 379. Kyle Mays 367 in fifth. Jordan Slater 335 in sixth. Michael Robinson 333 in seventh. Alex Penn 324 in ninth. Sean Kostritza at 315 Alex Penn 324 in eighth. Sean Kostritza 315 in ninth, and Keith Hackney 313 in 10th. Those guys are not that many points apart. Like, it's a really tight spread.
You know what I just heard, Jason?
What's that?
And I'm just going to say this one time. It's the first time we've said Keith Hackney's name on this podcast, and by God, it might be the last one.
But another thing that we skip over a lot too is these team points.
Oh yeah.
So
we got the team points captain here.
Yeah, I was just looking. Trucks. We'll go back to trucks real quick. Flex is leading that at 1272.
That's got to be narrow.
JC Motorsports is 1188. Cornerstone is 888. And then you got WJM at 757, and then High Side rounding out at 710.
Okay, that's not bad.
Flex, baby.
And looks like, what is it here? Xfinity. We got Cornerstone at 1285. Weaponized at 978. Where's that? Arrow, I think that name is. Yeah, it's a hell of a name for it.
Arrow Kinetics.
Yeah. Them. They're at 753. Elevated is at 750, and then High Side is 744. And then since I'm doing it, I'll just do the cup real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've got Cornerstone at 1254. The Syndicate at 1232. YNH at 1049. Weaponized at 1025, and then High Side at 960. Now that is not after Kansas, so
okay.
I usually wait about 2 weeks, and then I usually update them. So
it's a lot of work doing team points because there's so many substitutions and stuff like that, and trying to keep track. It's a lot of work, but I appreciate you stepping up and helping and take care of that for me this season.
I was gonna say our in the truck series. I think after Kansas, they're gonna be right on Team Flex's heels because we didn't have a great showing, and they did.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that though. I like close. Week after week after week. I like.
Yeah,
that.
It makes it more fun. It gives everybody something to fight for too. All right, moving on to Kansas Cup Series at Kansas. Justin Winters pulls out P1. Justin with an incredible fuel strategy Wednesday night. Bro, way to go. Hats off to you, man. Like big come up right there for Justin to grab that win and get himself locked in. Hadn't been having the best season in Cup up until this point, but turns it all around with one race. That's just the beauty of it. That's how things can go in this league, man. We have, I think, 6 or 7 different winners in Cup at this point, something like that. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different winners in Cup through 9 races. That's awesome. Like that's
it's what we like. Next gen car. It's leveled the playing field.
And it didn't look like a bad of a race either. 6 cautions, 22 laps for cautions. So
yeah, I mean, not saying that the other series don't have several winners. See, because 1, 2, 3, 4,
lead
5,
changes.
6. There's 7 winners in Xfinity as well. But yeah, Cupman is kicking it. I don't know how many trucks have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different winners in trucks. So I mean, there's still a good spread of winners in each series. Going back though, Nick Mills, one of my buddies from way back, he finished P2 with the fuel strategy as well. He come around Brandon Robertson as Brandon was running out of fuel coming out of fourth. Brandon
I wanted to give Brandon the shout out. He's on my team, and basically from when the green flag dropped, he was on crazy fuel strategy. That's the way that he does it, and I know I've said this about Matt 100 times, who's on my team as well. I don't know what it is about these Northeastern guys. Like once you get like north of Boston, they stop being assholes and start just being like the most calm, chill, like go with the flow. They will formulate their plan and they will see it through to the bitter end. And if it doesn't work out, be like, well, shucks, we'll give it a shot next week. And it's just a really cool team environment to be a part of, which it's kind of a juxtaposition with Flex where it's like me and Dan and Bobby we're kind of hot-headed at times, and Wes he'll be hot-headed on the mic, but
I think Wes he's got the hot-head beat out of all.
I can agree with that.
He doesn't really act on it.
No, he's calmed down this season. But the season previous, that man turns, as I say, his bald head turns tomato.
Like he'll get real mad, like in the team channel with us, but then like he just kind of grinds it out, which is probably the best way to go about it. But back to my Cup team, so I've got the two most level-headed guys in the world. Mm-hmm. And then what's my third one, Jason? Why don't you tell me?
Farmer.
Yeah. He's been causing a little ruckus lately, I guess.
Yeah, man, he's just here's something. I'm gonna say something, and I don't know, like, if this is the outlook, the viewpoint from others, right? This is what I've been told, what I've been hearing. People feel like the guys with the blue names think that and the blue names, when they say that, is they have the Discord help / mod role. So they associate them being a Discord mod or help, whatever, with power position in the league. I guess it's not necessarily the truth. That means they help out in Discord or help out some way or whatever, but they're not typically. They don't do any adminning other than Discord, right? But Dave, on the other hand, does do penalty or replay reviews, protest reviews, and stuff for us. So what I've been told,
it's an easy way to be public enemy number one.
Right. It is. So with that being said, like with him having that role, I've heard, well, the blue names, they can get away with anything. They do whatever they want, and they don't get penalized, or they don't get so that's why I had to, publicly in a driver's meeting a couple weeks ago, I had to tell Dave, stop getting on the radio, because he had been on the radio at Coda, and he'd been on the radio several other times, just like Alex Huffman at Atlanta. I told him, stay off the freaking radio, which I didn't say it like that, but that's what I was, and I said, if you want to do race control, go park your car and come freaking do it. So they don't have the perceived power that people think they do, right? But because Dave is an aggressive driver and Dave is hot-headed when he's on the sim, it's negatively reflects the league and myself. And I'm trying to reel the dude in a little bit, and I want him to see the bigger picture. It's not necessarily that he is really doing anything. It's the way he drives and some of the things he says, because he likes to troll. Let's go ahead and say, he likes to troll. And some of the guys the other day, when he made the video game comment, Some of the guys didn't like that. They took it, the wrong way. I know he was trolling. He was just trying to get a rise out of Huffman and Nick, but
which is easy. Maybe not Nick, but it's easy to get one out of Huffy. You don't even have to try that hard.
yeah. Oh yeah. Huffman. Oh, you can literally bait Huffman so easy.
I bait.
You don't have
I
to
just throw.
do
I just throw a hook in the water, and I got it. I got it.
He's one of the easiest. I swear to God, he's so easy. But yeah, they have that perceived idea that these guys have some kind of immunity. That's the word that was used. They have immunity.
Bro, I was on probation for 4 weeks in a row, and I'm a blue name guy.
and that's my point.
That's a good point.
People don't remember stuff like that. Don't think about stuff like that. But selective memory. Yep. But at the end of the day, they don't have immunity. They don't have and here's the thing. Like I said, the next guy that really messes up is going to be made an example of. So I'm hoping it's not Dave. I just want to put that out there. But if it is, then he'll be made an example of. Like I said, yeah, it could be Alex. It's
anybody.
But as far as the racing, it's got to clean up somehow, some way. If the drivers aren't willing to do it, because it looks to me like they've not been willing to do it, they've not done it so far, then that's when I step in and I'm like, all right, you're done. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to do that, but something's got to give, man. We're getting too close to playoffs.
I'm gonna give my 3 cents here because it's worth more than some idiots. This is a lesson I learned kind of early on, and actually Dave helped teach me this lesson. If people don't know, Dave is who got me into iRacing to start with at all. He's why I'm in this league at all. Early on, like if I had an issue, I'd come over the radio, talk shit. Over time, the only reason your hand should touch that push to talk button is to say car number pitting.
Yep.
Anything after that, handle it after the race. Because one, if you call me out over the radio in the race, I'm not going to say anything back. But if I get around you on the track, it's going to be way worse than me saying, "Hey, F you, buddy." Like that's not what it's going to be. It's not going to make your race better to tell someone like, "Hey, man, you suck. You need to not do this."
Nope.
Imagine all you have to think is, what if someone did that to you? Put you like flip the roles. If someone's like, hey, Jason, you can't fucking race me like that. Well, now I'm not gonna race you like that. I'm gonna actually race you dirty.
Yeah, I'm gonna
do something. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna end your night, kind of thing. That's what post race fights is for. That's what post race pizza is for. Whatever you want to call it. That's go in there, hash it out, whatever, and that's the whole purpose. Like if you're not calling out your pit stop or saying like under caution, like, "Hey, sorry I got into you," or like telling someone to catch up, like something that actually helps the race, just don't. Just say it to the guys in your Discord channel. That's it. That's it.
All it needs to be done. Let's go ahead and run down over the points. Or not points. So the rest of the top 10. I know I didn't do that, but let me go ahead and run over the rest of the top 10. Justin Winters was P1, Nick Mills was P2, Brandon Robertson P3. Bridges coming in with a P4 again. Good job, Bridges, man. Hell of a job.
He was on the strategy.
Dustin Ronstedt with a P5. Good job, Dustin. Way to go, man.
Pistile.
Yes, sir.
He's next week, right?
Yep. Mikey Neal 6, James Silver 7th, John Kinder 8th. That's our segue to that topic in just a minute. Keith Hackney 9 and Brandon Holder 10. So good job to those guys. Hell of a race. Brandon Holder. Let me just talk about Brandon for just a second. Brandon Holder is one of the most respectful, cleanest guys in the league. Right? Dude runs the entire race with a 0X at Kansas, and like I said, one of the most respectful drivers you could come in. He's fast too, man, and he has racecraft. He knows what he's doing, and Brandon is one of the guys you want to keep by far. But all right,
I want to make one small point about Cup Series for guys that aren't racing it. I know, so I'm a Truck Series guy, and I'm pretty competitive there. Guys probably feel like I'm a playoff guy. Maybe I'll get the race for a championship. I had a pretty good race going in the Cup Series, and I was on kind of an alternative strategy. And all that it took for my race to get screwed up is I missed my pit box, and I had to back into it. It cost me about 3 or 4 seconds, and that took me from a top 12 run to a P22 with no, I had 0 incidents. That's all it. I'd lost at least 10 spots because I fucked up a pit stop. that's that's how good our Cup Series is when we have a race like this. That's how good we are.
Yep, I agree. Whenever it goes green, and there's actual green flag pit stops, it's some of the best racing you can find.
Yep. So that is just props to the league in general. This is me telling you guys how good you are.
Yep.
All right, we're back. We've covered all of the results from the past couple weeks. We're going to get into the fun stuff now. A little bit of controversy here and there. So we're going to jump into one that both Dan and I were somewhat directly involved with, and that was the Justin Holt deal at Kansas. So Dan, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, everyone was saying at the beginning there it was in favor for me, but my point of view, he came to us after it happened, said his screens went black, couldn't control anything, and that ended his night. I don't know. I guess everyone else can think what he can, they want to think, but it was not helping me. And then they said it was going to help Bobby. We had no clue. Be straight up honest. He didn't say anything in the Discord. He was gone. We're like, where'd Justin go? And then boom, just gone. So
it was which I wasn't having a good race anyway. I was kind of just making laps in the back and just hoping that half the field would wreck or whatever. And so I have a triple monitor. I cannot see Discord when I'm racing, and I heard someone leave, and I didn't know who it was, and I was like, "Who's that?" And then I saw the caution flag come out like, I don't know, 5 seconds later or whatever. And no one said who it was or anything because it wasn't an incident that happened on the track because
He's on the apron actually.
Yeah, which we were kind of stretched out through the field. So we had guys at the front and me in the back. It's like, I didn't see anything. Dan didn't see anything. It's like, well, what the fuck's going on? And then we figure out that Justin's not there. It's like, well, I know this isn't going to look good.
Instantly, I thought of it right then and there. I was like, oh, here we go. And I swear it was nothing like that. I mean, I've been here since day one, and if I got to win a race like that, then I shouldn't be here. I'll put my 2 cents like that. So,
yeah. And like I told you before, I said, I don't think that it was to help you out immediately because Justin messaged me and said, hey, my screens went black. I'm sorry if I wrecked anybody. I hope I didn't or whatever. Right. And somebody came in and was like, I think it was to help Dan. I was like, no, I was like, it might have been to help Bobby, if anything. But I said, I don't think that's what it was at all. I said, the only person I could see it benefiting would have been Bobby. And I don't think that.
Shit, if that's the case, he should have done that. 10 laps prior when me and Bobby were still trying to, stretch it out. That would have been awesome for a caution there. We'd have put everyone a lap down.
Exactly.
That would have helped me too.
and that's my point is it doesn't make sense that he did it intentionally. I know they protested or whatever, but I don't believe that it'll come back as intentional or anything like that. At least I don't think it will. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to.
That's just the vibe we got from our side because we didn't have communication about it.
he definitely had an issue because, like I said, he was out of Discord and stuff, and then he immediately messaged me and was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry, my screens went black." And he was down on the apron. It wasn't like he was up on the track. So, and for whatever reason, Kansas is one of those tracks where if a guy pulls over on the apron and toes or alt F4s, they throw a caution for slow truck. So it was unfortunate. I know, but it didn't. I don't think it altered anything really because Dan was still running top 5 at the time and having a good race. I don't think it altered anything really. Maybe a couple of people's races, but I'm not really particularly worried about it. Like I said, I don't think it was intentional, and I don't think that the committee will find it intentional either. I could be wrong, but
It might be different if Dan or Bobby won, I guess, but which again, I was at the back of the pack, so it didn't mean shit to me, but it didn't seem like it changed the top 5, but I know
I
with
don't
the
think so.
restart, I guess anything is possible.
It may have changed a couple positions, I think, but not really much of anything else changed. Colbert still won. Lyons was still second, right?
Yeah, they battled. They were battling there for the last 2 laps or so, right after the restart.
And their teammates, and they had that they weren't giving each other any quarters. That was a good little race by them. All right, so we covered that. We need to go ahead and talk about post race fights. Last few days, man, it was crazy. I had been sick, so I was sleeping a lot this week, and I woke up and I was like, "What the f is going on right now?" It was insane.
It so from where I was, I work from home on Wednesdays, and I work in my rig. So I'll pull up Discord and I'll throw it over there, and if I see something, I'll talk to the guys, whatever. So I roll in here in the morning and I throw the Discord up over there, and it was like 8:30 in the morning, and I was already like 100 messages behind. I was like,
Dude,
this got to be the good. This got to be the good stuff. And it was Jim Ott and Tyler Evans going back and forth, and I don't even really remember what started it. To be honest with you,
Tyler was saying, "Come on, you guys have got to do better, race better, something." And Ott replied with like, "The dude that has 134 incidents trying to tell others to race better, like, something like that."
Yep.
And it took a turn that it should have never took from both of them. I'm going to say Tyler was trying to bait him into saying something, and Jim was poking at Tyler pretty hard, making it personal. It should never be taken personal. It should always be about their racing and their driving. It should never be about what they look like or their size or anything like that. I've since spoken with Jim, and I've corrected the situation with Jim and explained to him, it doesn't matter anyone's size, the way they look, sexual orientation, none of that matters. If you can't keep it,
it's rule number 2 in the server, which I jumped in and I said, "Hey, this is the rule.
Yeah,
that's it," kind of thing.
And Jim said, he was like, "Yeah, he was baiting me, and I just did it because he was baiting me, and I was, pissed off, whatever." And I get that, and I've explained to him that it borders on an area that we don't go to here, and like I said, it doesn't matter your race, your sexual orientation, your gender, whatever. None of that stuff should ever come into play in this league, in this Discord, at any point in time. And again, this is to Tyler also. You should have never brought it to that point. Like, you all, once he started taking it personal, you should have been like, "Listen, man, you want to DM me, then you can DM me, but this needs to stop being, should have never went personal to begin with for Jim. Like, that's a big no-no to Jim. But also, like I said, it shouldn't have went to where it went with either one of them.
Luckily, I think it stopped before it got to like a really bad place. So hopefully, which we kind of had a scenario with this last season as well, and it didn't fully get to that place, just like this one didn't. So hopefully, this is just a reminder that we don't play around with this stuff. We spend a lot of time with each other. All of us do, whether it's in Discord, on the track, interacting, sharing pictures, but like we're a little community here. I'm not saying everybody's buddy or anything, but like we're all doing a thing that we do for
Enjoy and
fun.
love. Yep.
Yeah. So let's make it the best that it can be. And
At the
I'm
end of
not
the day,
saying that I'm not saying we're not going to argue and
Right.
shit. That's part of it too.
yeah.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're a brotherhood. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Like exactly what Alex said. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You gotta. I mean, we take. Yeah, there's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of time away from our families, but I mean, we're doing this stuff for fun. I mean, I have a blast at racing this. I mean, I look for like Monday when I wake up, I go to work. It's on my
That's
mind
it.
like 80% of the day. Like I'm thinking, I got to race tonight. Yep. You know, I got wrestling right now. I go to wrestling. I go work out, and then it's game on. Like it's all day long. I'm thinking about that all day.
And that's
And I
awesome.
enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Mondays used to suck before I joined this league. Now Monday's the top 3 day in the week for me.
Yeah, I mean, I swear that's like tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up and I'll be like, oh, we have a race. You know, if it's a good track, it's like okay, and then if it's like like tomorrow, it's like oh boy, here we go. So
Yeah.
but it's gonna be on my mind. I mean, it's at least an hour, maybe every 2 hours. I'm thinking of something. Oh, got a race. Oh yeah, I got a race.
Yep. And that's what makes it so awesome and so special is that it does consume so much of our lives in so many ways, some more than others. But what's been built here, and I don't want to say I don't like using what I've built. I like saying what we've built because it's a community, because we've all put something into it and strive to make it better, and that's the whole goal and the whole point of this thing. Bring guys that have a passion together, and let them have fun with it. And
Yeah.
I think it's we've done an amazing job. I mean, pat on the back for everybody involved.
I mean, look at season 1 to now. Just
oh
an
God.
example. I mean, I was here season 1. We were just cup. I mean, we had, I can't even remember the what do you want? What do I want to say? Like the veterans of the, and then you brought the truck and I tried that. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go. Next season, my goal is probably to run cup. I mean,
if you run both. Run both.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the trucks right now. And the first 2 seasons, I believe, was only cup only, if I remember right.
Yep.
And I ran both seasons, so I enjoy it. Yeah, it keeps my mind going. So I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's what it's all about, man. We're all here for fun, and yeah, it's competitive, and I want to call myself the champion and maybe make $100 along the way, but I've got 30, 40 friends in here I didn't have before I joined this league. I've got all this time energy that I can invest into something and see it grow and see other people get enjoyment out of it. And that's as cool as it gets, dude. I don't care.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's why the whole comment the other day from Dave was taken the way it was taken was because so many guys, because they do have $5,000 and $6,000 and $10,000 rigs. Like, there's a lot of money in this shit, dude.
I got $6,000 in this shit.
I've got 5 easy right here. I mean,
yeah,
so monitors, it's nuts.
Yeah, and so guys, they don't like that, and I get that. So I mean,
then you got Bobby with a single monitor on a wood desk. I called them out. It's still fast as F.
Yeah. Silvers and Kinder. All right.
Which do we have time, Dan, or?
Yeah, you're good. Keep her going.
Okay.
Silvers and Kinder has been a topic that was brought up. So it started at Nashville. John got dumped by by Silvers. Kinder got dumped by Silvers. All right. Kinder saved it, straightened it out. They kept racing. Keith ends up spinning out off of 4 and hitting the inside wall or whatever, blocking the low lane. Kinder comes off 4 next to Silvers, and they're door to door, and Kinder starts kind of moving off the wall a little bit. Barely even touched him. I mean, just like barely, and ends up forcing James to drive straight into Keith. So James had the opportunity to hit the brakes or run into Keith. Now, I did not agree at all with the decision that was made from Brackett regarding this. He said it was aggressive driving and gave him the probation for the week. I didn't agree with it at all because, for one, he barely touched you. Two, you had your chance to slow down. Like, it's your responsibility to hit the brakes and slow down, not his. He didn't do anything to you besides put you in a bad situation. And James protested it, and then, like I said, the protest was found. Like Brackett found it in his favor, and I just don't agree with it. I mean, I didn't agree with it when he said it, but I mean, it was what it was. It was the rule. Was the rule. His ruling was his ruling. I'm not going to, override the guy because he gives me his time and puts his 2 cents in, and I respect him, and I do respect his decision, but I don't agree with his decision. So,
and David is another one of those level-headed Northeastern dudes.
Exactly. They were continuing it after Kansas. I think Kinder posted something about, because he was hot after the race. Still posted in post race fights something about, you all want to protest it instead of racing it out or something. F you pussies or something like that.
That's it.
Yeah, it was a straight up call out at James. I don't even know where the heck it's at this point, but yeah, it was a straight up call out.
You'll never find it.
He said, for the little bitches that protest because you don't know where a brake pedal is, get fucked, you little pussies. So,
dang.
Yeah,
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
was
post race fights.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I gotta go find that. Like
it was just, if you go up to the search bar in the top right, you just type in John Kinder, and it'll pull up his most recent. If you're in post race fights.
Oh yeah,
I did it.
Something new every day.
I did it way cooler than you, Jason, because I just did a Control F and then I typed pussies.
Oh well, yeah, that works too. But yeah, man, he straight up called him out, and James was like, Kinder, I don't have a problem with you. I'm willing to put all this shit behind us if you want to, but I'm going to bed. Good race tonight, my boys. And Kinder said, nah, just going to see if you can hang on to it the rest of the season. I think James is scared now. Like, to be honest with you, like I would be, because you pissed off somebody that knows what to do with her. They can wreck you without even touching you. They can make you mess up and do stuff. And obviously he showed that with what he did at Nashville. And again, I don't think that was aggressive driving or intentional or anything like that. He just put you in a situation where you had to choose, and you chose poorly. So,
oh yeah, we put some hearts on that.
All right. Is there what else we got? We got anything else to cover, or is that going to bring us to the closing?
I've got 2 things. My God, I hope people are still listening, because both of these, one is really important to me. The other is pretty important. The first thing is my benefit race is happening this Friday. I've got a broadcaster. OSR is going to do it. It's Friday night, 8:00 Central Time. We're going to do qualifying. It'll be like our races are. It'll be like 10-minute qualifier, and then it's 50 laps. I'll set up. I'll add a practice beforehand so we can all get in there and fuck around in the trucks and just have a good time. I might put up some practices during the week just because it's a fun combo, vehicle and track.
How many people you got right now?
Let's see. I think we're at like 15 or something, which is fine. But man, I'd sure love to have a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a
It's
minimum.
so hard. It's hard, man, to put on races like that. It is hard.
And it's a $1 to race.
Yeah,
That's
it's a donation race,
It's
a dono
to-
race.
it's-
I mean, even if you can't race, I mean, it's for a good cause, just
yeah,
it's a
I mean,
good
I sent him $50 the other day and said, "Here, use this towards whatever." Just
what's a
and-
dollar?
you know,
I mean, $1, $5, you go to the store and you get a soda pop and a candy bar, barely.
yeah,
For-
and
for $1, you can come hang out with your buddies and run this goofy truck on this goofy road course and drift it around. And there's not
Yeah,
going to be an
it's fun.
incident penalty. It's just going to be a fun show, and it's helping out a really good friend of mine. Like I said, one day she woke up and her legs just didn't work, and then
Right.
she went and had surgery. Now they work again, but their medical bills and all that stuff associated with it, trying to help her out and just showing her that I care
good
about
cause.
her and
It
all
is.
that good stuff. And I've had some good external donations. If for some reason, if one of you guys is listening and you cannot afford to give me $1 for this race, and that's fine, just tell me. If you want to race it, come race it. Just come have fun with the Bluegrass crew. I think it's going to be a good time, even if there is only, right now we've got 17, but even if there's only 15, 16, 17 of us, it'll be fun. But if there's 40 of us on this track, it's going to be a riot.
It's gonna be more
Period.
fun.
Yeah. And I don't give a shit about winning. If you do, I'm paying the winnings out of my pocket. I'm not taking it out of the donations. First place will get your entry fee plus 25 back. So if you donate $100 and you win, you're going to get 125 back out of my pocket. Your donation's still going to go to my friend. That kind of thing.
That's cool. That's cool.
So I hope
Awesome,
that
man.
we can get some more guys to join up, just to hang out and have fun, really.
Right.
And then second, less important, but I think something season long that can another camaraderie thing. We've got the NASCAR Fantasy League going. I think we've got like 13 in it right now. It's $10 to join. And all the rules and everything are posted in the channel. It's under other at the very bottom of our Discord. Let's see. I've actually got.
We can put it on its own category and move it up if we need to.
Yeah, if
that may be why people aren't able to find it. Let me do that real quick while I'm thinking about it. I'll move it up here.
That'll work. Which, another thing, just for fun, another thing we can talk shit to each other about, another thing to build the community a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you guys played fantasy football and all that stuff, so let's smash all these things together, have fun.
Yeah, absolutely, and it should be a good time. Also, another thing I want to talk about real quick is North Wilkesboro. I know that a lot of you guys are not. I don't know if you're prepared for it or not, but you better be. I'm not kidding. If you're not ready for North Wilkesboro, this is a track. Yes, it's a short track, but here's the thing: it's a track that has room. There's enough room to race side by side on that track and not have issues. It's big enough to race side by side. I've done it. I've seen it done. So if you aren't prepared for this race, you're going to get the hammer, boys. I'm telling you. I'm not joking. Like, I know I've said it already, and everybody's probably tired of hearing me say it, but shit's about to get real, and somebody's going to be made example of. You don't want to be that guy. So
use your head. Give him room.
Yeah, and if your buddy don't listen to the podcast and you hear this, you better tell your buddy. That's all I'm gonna say. You better tell him to listen to it, or you better tell him what's going on, because it's getting real. And yeah, that's about it. But also, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the league or the podcast, you can reach me in Discord, or you can reach me at Bluegrass iRacing Series at gmail.com. Feel free to touch base or reach out, whatever you want to do. If you're interested in becoming a part-time or full-time sponsor, we have different sponsorship packages. We have, as little as $10 or as much as $3,500 to sponsor the entire league. You know, there's packages. We can make a package for you if you want your own segment on the podcast, or you want your own segment in the broadcast, last lap sponsor, caution flag sponsor, whatever you want it to be. We can definitely make that happen. So feel free to reach out and touch base with us.
All right. Before we go, we're going to do picks different this week. Dan, who you got in Super Bowl tonight?
Man, I'm going, man, I hate it because the whole house is out there in the living room right now rooting for them. I'm going to go Eagles 27, KC 17.
Woo, they're going to hold him to 17. All right, Jason, what do you think?
Shit, dude. Chiefs, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to be rooting for the Eagles, but I think Chiefs are going to pull it off.
All right, so I hate the Chiefs. Bryce, suck it. But I do think that the Eagles are the better all-around team. They have a better defense. They have better weapons. So I'm going to roll with the Eagles. I think they're going to have to put some points on the board, though. I think it's going to be more like let's call it 31-27 Eagles.
All right.
I think it'll be. I think it's going to be like 35-33 Chiefs.
Yeah, if the Chiefs win, they're going to have to score a shitload of points.
I think it's going to be like a dud. I think one team's going to score at like the first half, and then after halftime, they're going to come out and go boom. I think. Could be wrong, but I'm just going with that.
Well, all I know is I'll see my future ex-wife at halftime. What's up, Rihanna?
Oh, nip slip, rated R. Sorry, nip slip.
Rihanna?
Yeah, man.
Sure hope so. But with that, let me holler at our sponsors. Kinder Performance Group. John, I love you. Huffman Designs. Huffy, I don't hate you, and I guarantee I'm faster than you in a foot race. Don't come talk to this 4.4 speed like you know something. Scott Fritz Designs. My man, you and Huffy put the big pinch on me. Cup. But I respect it. It was a clean move. I don't hate you either. Butt Kicker. They've been kicking my butt for many years now. Rocket.
Race picks. We forgot race picks.
You can't stop me in the middle of this. Let me do this, and then we'll do picks real quick. Red Rocket Building is a barbecue. I like buildings, and I like barbecue because I live in a building, and I eat barbecue inside of it sometimes. Elevated Outdoors. I like it. And WJM, that is a team in this league, and they have paid for the honor of me to say their name, and that I respect. So let's do some picks now.
Sorry, yeah, it hit me right when Dan texted me. Right, I just like, oh wait,
Dan's hurrying us up. So truck picks.
No, I was going as the finger, like, yeah, I reminded him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Truck picks. Jason, go first.
Frig. Where are we at? North Wilkesboro. Cody Anderson.
Ooh, that's a good one, actually.
Cody Anderson.
I've been working with Cody, so I'm hoping he'll listen.
He's finishing dead last then.
Yeah,
what a terrible pick.
I outran the field by 5 seconds. Get out of here.
Cool. Oh, come race with us on Monday then. Let's see.
You don't want me to. You don't want me to.
I'd love you to. I'll pay your entry.
I just come do it then.
Come do it then.
My pedal. So yesterday when we were practicing, my damper. Hold on, no.
Pedal. Oh, my pedal.
I'll still race, but I'm just saying, my pedal yesterday, my damper on my throttle, completely stopped working. So I gotta figure out what the deal is with that. But I mean, I was still outrunning everybody with the broken pedal.
Well, I wasn't there, so don't worry about it.
All right. Well, we're gonna do some practice laps right after this. Wait and see.
Shit, Dan, what you got?
I'm going with Colbert.
That's a good pick. So
figured you'd took yourself.
Man,
It's hard
do
to,
that.
man.
Can't do that.
Or one of your flex teammates.
No, because I just feel the karma. I just feel the.
Oh, you're hoping it jinxes him. Okay, I got you.
Every
I
time
didn't say that, but I mean,
every time I've picked one of my teammates, I get a message like, "What the hell you gotta pick me for, man?" Like, I'm just trying. It's been Cup Series and Truck Series every time. Like, what the hell, man? So at a short track, there are two kinds of guys I like to pick. I either like to pick a super aggressive guy or a super conservative guy, and it depends on which strategy is going to emerge. Aggressive guy is going to get to the front and he's just going to run away. Conservative guy, he's going to let the race wreck and he's going to let it
come to him. Yep.
And with Wilkesboro, I feel that it's going to be messy. And I am going to pick a teammate. And it's not Dan. It's a teammate that, by God, does he deserve it? And his name is Alan Duranko. Alan is
yeah, he deserves a good finish, man. He's been having hell of a bad luck.
And
Yeah.
he's a patient guy. He's kind of both because he can be patient, and when the race calls for it, he can start to push the issue. So I hope that he's able to adapt and be there at the right time. And I'd like to have all four of us in that top 16. So,
Yep.
Alan, let's get it, buddy.
All right. So then we got to do Xfinity picks real quick.
Yep.
Who's going first? I went first last time.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I'm going. I'm gonna go Lancaster.
Lancaster's a good pick. I'll go. Radburn's going to get it done this week. I feel Radburn's going to get it done.
You motherfucker. All right. Well,
the guy in fifth in standings. That's who you probably should pick.
That is my initial thing. I really want to pick Michael. I really do.
Hey, that's a good pick. He might pull it off. He's level-headed enough to wait.
I know. Fuck it. Michael, let's go. Michael Robinson, your number one fan. If I can pull this off, like
he definitely should call you out. If he pulls this off and you picked him.
Yeah, he's got to send me like an autograph, diecast, or something. We got to figure it out. All right, up to the Cup Series. So I got to go first for this one, I suppose.
Yeah.
This is going to be golly.
Dude, those points in Cup, like it's tight. It's 406 to 400 for 1 and 2, 397 for third. Preston's 392, which is
to fourth.
That's why I don't understand why he's wanting to quit when you're sitting that close to the freaking points lead. It makes no sense.
He's 14 points off. Man, this is going to be a tough one.
Dumb as hell.
So based on prior races, and it feels like there are a lot of egos in the Cup Series. A lot of guys, because this is the best of the best. This is the best we got, period. I feel that it's going to be a wrecky one.
Better not be.
Oh, it's going to be. And Alex Huffman's going to get it done. Huffman is going to be patient like he always is. And some of the other guys that I think will have more raw speed are going to get beat up. Period.
I think that's a good call. I think he's level-headed enough. I think it's going to be. I can't decide if I want to pick him or him.
I will be sure to not talk shit to Huffy before the race, though. I don't want to get him off kilter again.
Right. I can't decide, dude, if I want to go with Holder, Kinder, or Mikey. That's tough. Let's see. I want to say it's going to be Brandon Holder.
That's
Son of a
that's what I thought you would pick.
All right, I think I'm going to go with. Looks like this gentleman moved up 5 positions. Looks like he's got about 6 top 10s, which is good. 3 top 5s, and he's only got 8 starts. So I think Mikey Neal's going to go with it.
It's a really good pick. It's a really good pick. Mikey's a hell of a guy. He's a hell of a driver. He was actually going to be my guest host if you couldn't make it today, but I told him you were here, so he didn't get to be the guest host.
We'll get him. We'll get him.
He's wanting to come back. He asked if he could come back on the pod. So, again, big shout out, big thank you to our sponsors: Kinder Performance Group, Hope and Design, Scott Fritz Designs, Butt Kicker, Red Rocket Buildings and Barbecue, Elevated Outdoors, WJM. Thank you guys so much. I know Alex has been doing the sponsorship, but I interrupted him, so I just want to reiterate those guys one more time. They got 2 shout outs today.
Money's worth.
Got that money's worth. All right, guys. Episode 16. This is your HMFIC, Jason Collins, Alex Healy, Dan Worthington signing off.